Well, hello and welcome to Speed Gaming 4. I'm Tobias. With me on commentary today is Okishi. Oak, how are you doing?
I'm good. About yourself?
Can't complain. This is already the the semi-final match of the OOTR online tournament. This is going real quick.
Yeah.
So we are looking at Majarkin versus SeYsEy, an American versus a French runner. And semifinals and above are best of three. So this is the first of three races in this semifinal. I am just looking at the clock, and it seems like we are about a minute away from the race starting. So let's take a quick look at what the runners had to do to make it to the semifinals here. We are looking at Majarkin making the race or beating out Exodus, Earl Weird, Icola, and SeYsEy made it through races against Red, Just Sam, and Alfalfa Field.
Yeah, the Majarkin here is a clear underdog. Rate coming in at the 26th seed, beating out the number 7 seed, the number 10 seed, and the number 2 seed, that being Exodus, Earl Weird, and Ecola, respectfully. And coming in against SeYsEy, who was actually, spoilers, runner-up in our standard Season 6 tournament that we had towards the beginning of this year. So this is truly a clash between two brutes of just insane Zooter players. And if you're not excited, I don't know what you are, because I could tell both me and Tobias are so excited for this match here.
Oh, absolutely. This is going to be great. I am absolutely looking forward to it. I'm just waiting for it to get going, which should be any second now. We are racing on a 15-minute stream delay. So the runners have started about 15 minutes ago at this point. The race time clock has just passed 15 minutes and 30 seconds, so we can only be seconds away to a runner starting on stream.
Yeah, looks like we got the countdown. 10 seconds to go.
Yep, and there we go. So
we start with the Nocturne.
Yeah, we're starting with Nocturne, which is neat for movement. We also start with a Stone, which is great for just the seed not being too long, because in the end, this seed is the goal is to get let's look at the Foolishes first. Kokiri Forest, Gerudo Valley, Zora's Fountain, and Hyrule Castle.
Interesting.
Did not catch the hint that SeYsEy there.
No, it's kind of interesting that SeYsEy didn't check those and instantly played Nocturne to get on over to the graveyard. Again, great for movement, but you kind of want to know your information, because there is a chance that you do get a graveyard is foolish. So this is a good divergence, and it does look like Majarkin's changing the time tonight by going into just outside Ganon's castle. So this might be an instant river play for the 3 potential items that you could get and the 3 extra hints.
3 items, 3 hints. Hints are super powerful. We have path hints going on. There are 5 path hints in the seed, with the stones taking precedence over the 2 medallions that we need. So to resume what I said earlier, to beat the game, we need the 3 spiritual stones, and we need the spirit and shadow medallions. The 3 spiritual stones will give us access to Ganon's castle. The spirit and shadow medallions will give us Ganon's boss key.
Yes, and if you notice, we did start with one of the stones already, being the Goron's Ruby. So that's one less dungeon that we need to do. And we also, what did we get?
We don't need to buy a shield. This was a Hylian shield provided for free by Daddy Dampe.
We definitely don't need to buy a shield.
We definitely don't need to buy one, because this is the mirror shield sitting in the river.
Oh man, the Majarkin made it look really easy. That's easily the harder one to the harder item to grab here in the river, and just
freehanding that particular jump is impressive.
And the strength to start off with. If we need to do DC, it wouldn't be a bad play to just dip into DC right away with that strength.
That's not bad.
our runners can check at any time what dungeons they do need to do. And it's kind of important to check because you only need, in this instance, potentially 4 dungeons to complete. But if you notice, we also started with the light medallion. And if you're not familiar with these settings, the light medallion is attached to a dungeon that is already pre-completed.
Yep, which pre-completed means that all the checks in there are junk. So you don't need to go into that dungeon at all. They are guaranteed to be useless. Speaking of interesting information about the seed, we have seen our first path hint. It's Desert Colossus Path to Phantom Ganon. That could very well just be for a song.
Oh, wow.
Well. Ocarina of Time teaches Zelda's Lullaby. That is not as terrible as it could be, because we are looking at... And there's Minuet. Okay, so it's not for the song.
And SeYsEy just found Strength 2 already. Strength 2 being in the windmill. So 2 just readily and available strengths.
Interesting. So, Zelda's Lullaby on all dungeons, on OOT, normally in many other settings, means that we are looking at a seed that needs all dungeons completed before we can beat it. But not in this case, because of the way the rewards are structured. You need to beat the stone dungeons anyway. So it's just nice information to have the Ocarina of Time having Zelda's Lullaby. You know you're not going to need Ocarina of Time, or so you're not gonna need to worry about whichever your 2 dungeons, your stone dungeons are, needing Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, so that instantly, if you're looking at 2 like pretty high item, dense required dungeons, say like Spirit, say something like Shadow. Well, it can't be Shadow, but you do know that you're not going to need anything from the Zelda's Lullaby for those dungeons. So you're probably looking at 2 low item requirement dungeons to complete and get the Zelda's Lullaby.
Huh. Okay, that was interesting. So we got a song from Sacred Forest Meadow, which was Epona. That is Adult Sacred Forest Meadow, so normally you would get Minuet there in the vanilla game. And we also get a hint that Sacred Forest Meadow is on the path to Volvagia.
Interesting. I wonder if that's going to be for the Epona song, or if it's going to be... Now, if we get something, say, like Song of Storms in SFM, Sacred Forest Meadow, then you're pretty much just like, all right, take your pick. Do you want to go do Epona checks, which is essentially GTG, or do you want to go do Song of Storms if that's the case down the line?
So I would pick Well and the other Storms checks 100% of the time in this case, because Longshot exists, and so Epona may very well not be the only way over to GTG, which leaves just 2 checks, namely Horseback Archery, that are 100% Epona locked. So the Storms lock checks would be better odds, I feel.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, definitely way more dense.
I'm chilling in the commentary booth. These 2 are having to make those same calculations and also run the seed. We're also seeing 2 interesting hints on the 20 and 30 Skulltula checks. We have seen Flame Check and Fire Arrows.
Oh boy. Oh, this is going to be good.
This is curious. Both of these might be required, but it's rather improbable. It's not like you can completely ignore that until you know what Biggoron Sword or the Biggoron Sword check is, and until you know what in the world is locked by the Shadow Trial 2 check in Ganon's Castle, or rather until you have Din's Fire as an alternative fire source.
Yeah, this jump is harder than it looks. Some of the higher tiered players definitely make this jump here in the windmill just look so easy, and it probably is, but from experience, it's not.
It's probably easy when you have hours and hours of practice.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. We focused a bit on Majarkin for a moment. Let's look back over to SeYsEy. SeYsEy has gone child in the meantime, still has not looked at his dungeon layout, it seems, and is now in London Ranch, looking for more songs, basically doing a standard opening here, looking through both Kakariko and now the child loop through 3-song route. Or the route formerly known as 3-song route.
Yeah, gonna stay true to that, because having that minuet, gonna instantly be able to get that other SFM or song there as child. So
Yep,
very strong.
You don't need to worry about Kokiri Forest because that has already been hinted foolish right in the beginning. So you're basically probably just playing minuet straight out of this silo here.
Oh wow,
Ooh.
okay.
Hello, Rudo's letter from Malon.
That's always scary to see early on, because that instantly gives you well, obviously it gives you Zora's Fountain access, but we do know Zora's Fountain is foolish, so no items in there are going to be worthwhile. And we are getting a med check on Majarkin's side.
Right, so let's see. We have Forest and Fire as our stone dungeons, and we have Deku and Jabu as our required medallion dungeons. That Rudo's letter is required. Not too bad, though.
No.
In terms of item requirements.
Yeah, we're going to need bombs, hammer. We're going to need bow. We already have a strength. I mean, we got 2 of those. We just need Kokiri sword, boomerang on SeYsEy's side. Really not that many items. And our pre-completed dungeon is Spirit. So that dungeon you do not need to step foot into. The only time you need to step foot into Spirit is to walk right back out and get that song that's in Desert Colossus.
Which SeYsEy is about to do. There are 3 checks in Desert Colossus. There's the song, there's the archway, and there's, currently inaccessible, the fairy fountain. That could be a path item. Or path to Phantom Ganon specifically. It won't be a strength. It'll be either a bow, and it's Song of Time. That could be it. It could be for courtyard access.
That's interesting. It's been a while since I've personally seen a Song of Time potential path to Phantom Ganon, just for the courtyard access, possibly meaning that bow is locked behind courtyard. But we do have a read here from Majarkin just based on the 2 strengths gotten and its Lens of Truth. Oh boy.
SFM still path to Volvagia, and, well, Bolero path to Volvagia, it seems. That is certainly a possibility. It is the song we got from Saria. Oh, I didn't catch the hint that SeYsEy just got.
Is that Hyrule Field path to Baronade? I might have gotten that incorrect.
Water River Chest is dead. No, our trackers agree. So, Bolero, that kind of... so that does indicate to me that we might be looking at a late hookshot seed. Just the instinctual feeling I get from having a Bolero potentially path to Volvagia, as well as a path to Phantom Ganon that could possibly be resolved by Song of Time. Well, never mind. I just realized that I was talking crap there. Bigoron is dead. That's good news. So 20 skulls is required.
That's nice. Being the 30 on your fire source, I mean, you don't need to do Shadow. But Majarkin even going into Foolish Kokiri Forest and getting the Big Goron Sword, that's kind of a nice play right there. Big Goron Sword definitely saves a decent amount of time when it comes to your combat. So that's you know, take the extra 30 seconds to walk out of Lost Woods. That's a good play.
Yeah, I mean, walking out of Lost Woods into Foolish Kokiri Forest and being rewarded by a Big Goron Sword is not a bad outcome of this.
Yeah, even finding something like bomb shoes, you know, they can be in a foolish location.
So, we are looking at Hyrule Field on the path to Baronade. That could be a scale. It could be something that allows us to beat the 2 stone dungeons to get to Zelda's Lullaby. It could be just plain old Boomerang. All of these are possible.
That's curious. I'm gonna make a small prediction that it's gonna be a scale in Open Grotto. It's a terrible prediction, knowing our layouts here, but
it's possible.
Now, really, the only difference between these two runners is Majarkin took the liberty of going to River a little early, which isn't a terrible play when you have Nocturne and you could just warp out of the top of River, so you're not wasting your time walking out of River back to Keck. So it's not that terrible, but didn't really get too rewarded other than the Mirror Shield, which is not going to be needed in this seed.
Yeah, it's a free shield and that's it. But Majarkin deciding that ignoring Skulltulas completely is not yet worth it. Let's see what that Hyrule Castle hint has for us.
Oh.
Kakariko's still on the path to Queen Goma.
Okay.
The first copy of that hint, which we had seen in Kakariko's Open Grotto. So
I definitely missed that one. Okay, that's interesting. And that is Skullmask dead. And that is also Open Grotto is dead, so rip that.
So, Kak to Goma could be for Minuet.
Which pretty much mean... Yeah.
It's the only item or the only thing of significance that we found in Kakariko so far, but that's kind of on thin ice here.
We do have a strength, though. We had a strength, which was our strength 2. Which led to Lens? Oh, boy. As far as we know, it's led to Lens.
Excuse me, what? Oh, right, Lens was a thing that happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we could try and scrub the Lens from our memory.
Won't work, I fear. So interestingly, we've seen 2 strengths super early, but so far, otherwise, it's been slim pickings.
Now, this is interesting from SeYsEy. As far as these runners both know, neither of their items really get them much. Yeah, Strength 2, it does open up a couple of things, and oh, there's Daruto's letter again. But Majarkin having already checked the most obvious Strength 2 check, that being the 3 items in the Goron maze, and just finding a Lens, I mean, what else do you have? The Spirit's off the table. You have GTG, and you don't even have a hook shot to yeah,
you don't have a thing. You don't have a hook shot to put that in logic, though.
Yeah.
We know that Sun Song's in the Composer Grave, so that's very likely not it. Not the song we need.
Okay, and we're getting chickens from SeYsEy. I wonder if Majarkin's going and doing the same exact thing.
Possibly. Kakariko is a hinted path, and so far you found a Minuet there. You're gonna wanna check up on that. You're also gonna want to check up on 10 Skulls as soon as possible with that path hint.
Yeah, absolutely. 10 Skulls is definitely screaming in our runners' ears. That's why they're kind of just hoping that chickens is the answer. And it's not chickens.
Not the answer. And SeYsEy immediately safe warping, or even just safe scumming back to where he was before. Sorry, I have the hiccups for just a little bit. I hope that doesn't come through the microphone as badly.
No worries. Okay, okay, I see what SeYsEy is doing. Waiting until Dampe time, going over, checking Dampe, nice little 10 rupee check.
Yep. Good time management here. He now has nighttime set as well. So let's see what he does with that. Meanwhile, Majarkin is headed back into the Lost Woods to get the Bolero. And Dampe wasn't it either.
Very interesting. Now, this might be a possible age change for SeYsEy. No. Oh, it's nighttime. Nighttime market.
Yep.
Which...
We also found Strength 2 as a path to Goma, I just remembered. So
yes.
That's a thing.
But unfortunately, it's only led to Lens and nothing else.
Speaking of nighttime market. But that's not something SeYsEy can do yet. Majarkin could.
Yeah, well, no magic. So, I mean, they could 1 in 32.
They could.
If anybody were to, it would be Majarkin having that knowledge that the Lens is possibly on that path. But it's such a gamble. It would be so hype, but such a gamble.
I'm here for it.
I don't think there isn't a single person who isn't. Come on, Majarkin, you know you want to. So I'd say with SeYsEy here, probably going to instantly play Bolero. See what song you get from there. Check to see if there's anything inside the crater that you're looking for. Anything that you could access or access from behind. Because you do have a strength. You could access the other side of the crater. Looks like a heart piece. And a rupee, a blue rupee. So nothing here.
Well, music though, it's Song of Storms.
That's pretty significant. That's a lot of chests that's opened up.
Yeah.
So there's a potential our hookshot or our hover boots are locked behind Storms checks here. That just makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think SeYsEy is just gonna climb trail, play Storms. Maybe.
He's looking to be on that way, yeah. He'll probably want to sort out those storm checks as quickly as possible. I'm assuming he will want to go Child right after this to... he would be going into the well with neither Explosives nor Zelda's Lullaby. I'm not a fan, but I understand that it might be what the game wants it to do in this case.
Yeah, that's, I mean, your next best play is to go check one check in GTG, so...
yeah, we are running out of checks quickly.
It's kind of funny, though. It's cool when you get these kind of bottlenecks and watch both of the runners, work their way towards figuring out what that bottleneck is. But this makes sense for SeYsEy. Going to be able to check the trail on the same path of heading over to the Goron City Hammer Rocks and use the Strength 2. He's also going to see the big chest here in trail.
And will not be able to do anything about it. Carry for Storms is foolish, so that leaves well exclusively, yeah.
And this is a big item.
Oh.
If this is bombs, this would be huge. Is that
Trail to Queen Goma?
Oh, wow.
Yep, that's it.
What?
Well, disregard those fire arrows.
Alright, cool. 30's dead. That's about all the information we just got there.
That's an item.
So was that Crater or Trail, Path to Queen Goma? I didn't see the end
Trail.
there. Trail. Oh wow, interesting. Oh boy, Shadow intensifies. Forest Medallion Shadow intensifies.
Yeah, yikes. I mean, we haven't seen the Burning Cack hint yet.
Actually,
can be Serenade, it can be Requiem, or it can be Saria's Song. Requiem doesn't come into account here. Saria's Song would be evil.
Yeah. Man, I'm kind of hoping it's just like a Composer Grave type thing. You know, for the runner's sake. I mean, for our sake, we're probably looking at a... we would love to see Shadow come into play.
So, quick explanation for those who might not have... or who might be a bit newer to OOTR, why did I say Saria's Song would be evil? Saria's Song locks exactly 2 checks in this game. It locks the Skull Kit in Lost Woods, and it locks Darunia's Dance in Goron City. Both of these are child checks, and both of these, you know, kind of out of the way on their own. And if you get a hint that Burning Cack is Saria's Song, that's not exactly, you know, a thing you want to follow up on, but also you can't entirely discount it. It's always going to be nagging in the back of your mind. So that's why I'm saying it would be evil.
Trail to Goma. One of those few songs that just do really nothing. It's similar to Song of Storms and Majora's Mask. Literally 1 check. But I guess it's also forest access for adult. That is true. There's also another big chest in Trail, but that is currently explosive locked. So if we find Bomb Shoes, we could get it out of Logic. If we find Hammer, we could just grab that. I mean, we are going to need to do Fire at some point, so there's a good chance there.
So will we see Majarkin try a 1 in 32 just for the heck of it? He knows that that's potentially a path location, and he would obviously break the seed wide open if he just got very lucky there.
Okay.
He's choosing not to do that.
Listen, play safe. You're in the semis. This is game 1. You kind of want to your chances at you know, leading off. So I completely get it.
Yeah. All right. So well play from SeYsEy, which makes sense. We are looking at Song of Storms giving us access, or Bolero giving us access to Song of Storms, with Song of Storms, you know, giving us access to the well as well as the 1 Song of Storms check in Death Mountain Trail. That could be anything. We know that Death Mountain Trail isn't it. It's not the well. It could have been, but we'll see what's in the well as well. At least as far as we can do it.
This is Majarkin going to be heading over and grabbing the Song of Storms. I wonder how quickly Majarkin would just, okay, got Song of Storms, just go. Just go child.
The question is, will he do the same heads-up play SeYsEy did and decide to head for Trail as well? First of all, he's checking Fire, and we are seeing a big chest on SeYsEy's side. That's the first hook shot.
That makes sense.
Yep, that totally makes sense. Bolero being the path item to get access to Song of Storms, to get access to that hookshot, I can dig it.
And this here isn't a terrible play from Majarkin either. You know, if this just so happens to be an item, and it's a key, you could go a little bit further in Fire, but there's a point where you kind of gotta... I mean, you get 1 more check regardless. You don't have explosives. Even if the next check is a key, you're still locked out. So you're kind of hoping that this key locks an item.
Yeah, well, there's 2 chances for that, so Majarkin is not completely out of luck here. And with all the heart containers he also incidentally collected, he will not be in trouble in terms of the time he has to beat this room.
And another key. So currently locked out of fire without any explosives. Hammer
One
would
more
open
chance to
things
put an
right up. Well, you need explosives to get the next item.
Oh, right.
But the well, oh, there's a bomb-locked big chest in the well. No ZL, so get to skip Dead Hand for now.
You say skip, I say worry about for a while longer.
Oh, but there is another big chest.
Yep. With the like behind the grates. So let's see.
It looks like Majarkin doing the same thing, going up trail, gonna get that Dins, and probably gonna instantly warp over to Child.
Not gonna be mad about it either. Alright, what's that big chest we got here from the like?
Show us bombs. Oh boy.
Oh, I mean... That...
That's unfortunate. No matter how you see it. I mean, at least it's not on the path to Queen Goma. Is it? No, it's not. That's strictly on the Balvagia path.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking at Hookshot and Slingshot right now for your Balvagia path.
I'm gonna call Bolero Storm's Hookshot being the Volvagia path. I don't think Epona Song is gonna have to do anything with it.
Yeah, at this point, I'm kind of hoping not either.
Would also just be a bomb-locked Kokiri sword, right, in that alcove outside Goron City, obviously. But we do like to imagine, you know, terrible fates for others.
Alright, I like this. This is a forest dip over for SeYsEy. With that hook being potential... Yeah, with that hook being potential on that path, I mean, you already have your access to fire. But following these items is not a bad play. And also, same thing for Majarkin dipping over to DC. Following your items isn't a bad play whenever you get these kind of like bottlenecked paths, essentially.
Yep, I don't disagree. Oh, and there's the burning Kakint we were waiting for. Serenade of Water. It's not gonna be logically required today.
So yeah, no logical AD, no hard AD for a required song, which is good. But there could be Oops AD and dipping all your dungeons for items, potentially. So we'll just see how that plays out. Okay, so this is also potential here. We have Song of Time being along the Phantom Ganon path here. Song of Time could potentially unlock our bow. And that's what SeYsEy is pushing towards.
Well, let's see where we end up here. A bow would be huge, obviously. Forest Temple is a required dungeon for us to beat, and again, Song of Time is one of those things that is it is so far the only path item we've seen in Desert Colossus. There was nothing on the archway, and we have no access to the fairy fountain yet.
So far, a key. I think it would be just peachy if it was just enough keys in the courtyard to get us to vanilla bow chest for a vanilla bow.
Duh. I don't.
Come on.
Can we not?
It's
Can we
been a
not?
while. Also going for these skulls. Forest is very dense with skulls, very easily accessible skulls, and they're just kind of along the way. So if you're trying to get to the 10 skulls for your potential CAC to Queen Goma path, it's not a terrible play.
No, it is not. And is Majarkin gonna be rewarded for dipping the Dongo's Cavern here? Or is SeYsEy gonna be rewarded for dipping... Oh, there's a scale and there's a bow in the courtyard. Okay, I mean, SeYsEy is just gonna be in Forest Temple for 10 more minutes.
Yep. And that Zora skills, I mean, that's your access over to Jabu.
Yep.
So, really, you just need some sort of explosives potentially to find maybe the boomerang inside of Hyrule Field, and you got yourselves a finished Jabu.
Indeed.
Very quickly, the seed is unraveling for our runners.
Yep, this is not going so badly so far. I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but
too late for that.
Scale is not going to be in consideration, or any other access to Zora's domain is not going to be in consideration for a path item in field. So it's pretty much just going to be boomerang or something that leads us to boomerang. To wit that boomerang could still be ZL locked. Now, basically every minute Majarkin continues to spend as an adult is a game that SeYsEy gains time here. SeYsEy's decision to immediately take that Song of Storms and run with it, obviously from our perspective, from the perspective of Restream, knowing both runners' streams and how they're going, it was the right one. And SeYsEy will now be the first to have a completed required dungeon here. Meanwhile, Majarkin is clearing up adult some more, but it's looking to be headed child now.
Yeah, and potentially the longest dungeon they're going to be completing today. Forest being known as kind of the slog of the dungeons that we have here in Ocarina of Time. It's so linear. There's no faster way of doing it. It's not like Water Temple where you can get boss key early and just finish the temple and just skip the rest of the checks in it. You got to go all the way through, unlock all the pose, defeat them all, and light the torches to get down to the basement. Pretty basic.
Yeah, it's very linear. You can't, or you don't really do routing decisions in Forest Temple as such. So that's why it's kind of known to the Ocarina of Time randomizer community as a bit of thinking time, basically. If you can't do Forest, you just do Forest and think about what to do next in the meantime.
Yeah. It's also one of the, if you have like a path hook shot and you're looking for a long shot in a different seed, if you're looking for a long shot, it's one of the most dense areas that requires a hook shot from the get-go. So it's always a good place to check if you're looking for that.
And keep in mind, the hook shot is on the path to Volvagia. So we'll see what becomes of that.
Yeah, we could find bombs, we could find a hammer. Worst case scenario, we find a wallet or a Goron tunic.
Yeah, hookshot itself might not be required for fire, but as you said, there's a bunch of items definitely required to beat Fire Temple that would fulfill would put that hookshot on a path. We'll see where this goes. Now, Majarkin has turned into nighttime, if I recall correctly, and is now headed to Graveyard as well, just to get the dump and digging check out of the way, and is then going to be headed into the well.
Yep, same play we saw from SeYsEy just a little bit later.
Majarkin... Yeah, go
You're
ahead.
fine. Oh, just with these runners, you know, anything could happen. Anything could happen down the line.
Yeah, so to be clear, just because SeYsEy has gone to Forest Temple earlier, doesn't mean he's significantly ahead at this moment. Majarkin has cleared up a bunch of adult checks that SeYsEy at some point will still need to do and find out their junk. And Majarkin also seems to be going a bit more thorough here in Kakariko. Path location Kakariko, getting 5 more skulls, and looking if we can't find a lucky path to Goma on 10 skulls.
That's 7. So unless he knows how to do the stick setup for the last skull in here.
If I can do that, he can.
Do you just count the steps that you take up the ladder?
No, honestly, I just eyeball how close I am to the Skultula. And sometimes I get thrown off the ladder.
Well, it looks... oh, no.
Majarkin's
not doing it this time. It is a bit time-consuming.
Yeah. Headed into the well instead. Alright. So that Song of Time was directly Path to Bow.
Yep. Gives us our full completion here of the Forest Temple, which SeYsEy is just zooming through. Reaching the end here. Now, with having all of your keys and your boss key, every single check from here on out could be a potential for hammer, bomb, something along the Volvagia path line. It's not guaranteed because there are other hookshot checks in the game, but this is definitely one of the more easily accessible and most dense areas that they could go.
Yeah, every single location in Forest Temple is hookshot locked, so you definitely want to check that. And you have to go there anyway, so...
Yeah, clear your progression first if you got it.
We have a bomb... we saw that early on SeYsEy's side, but bears repeating that we have a bomb lock big chest in the well here. So, probably worth a revisit if we have... and when we find bomb here.
Yeah, if we're still looking for items after we get bombs and potentially ZL, then it's not terrible. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 checks, 2 of them that you probably already peaked with ZL, and then you've got 1 guaranteed big chest with the bomb locked. And so far, no dice towards the end of Forest for SeYsEy.
Well, there are a few more chances. The basement check is one of them. The other one is Phantom Ganon himself. Though, as is tradition, Phantom Ganon will have nothing.
I'm going to say a purple rupee.
I'm going to say a blue one.
That's a cop-out. Oh,
it is. It is a cop-out, and for those who don't know, blue rupees are the default junk items in this game. So if you can't, for example, get a bomb refill, because you don't have a bomb bag yet, it will be replaced by a blue rupee. So yeah, cop-out answer, that's true. The odds of that are astronomically higher than anything else I could have said.
I personally like saying purple rupees because we actually have a runner in the Zooter community named Purple Rupees. And every time I see it, you know, pop up on like a hint, I always feel like it's a shout out to them.
I get it. And Majarkin has now spotted the other big chest with the like. Interesting route he's taking through the well, a bit different than what we've seen from SeYsEy.
It gets a little squirrely when you don't have ZL and you don't do your normal, wrap around, you know, in a counterclockwise rotation.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, wow. That was... okay.
Oh, dear. That,
Oh.
that Deku shield was almost toast on Majarkin's side.
Started clutching my chair there for a second.
And fairy slingshot from the well here from Majarkin. So he's gonna be pretty certain that that hookshot is his path item. That Bolero led him to Storms, which led him to the hookshot. Which also means the other hookshot is going to be hookshot locked. In some way, shape, or form. Because we've seen all available Storms checks. Well, not true. The other hookshot may still be Storms locked in the well.
Yeah, it could be. If that's the case, then we know 100% sure that Epona's is not gonna be your first logical crossing over into GTG area. And that's 6 goals for SeYsEy.
I stand corrected. The other hook only needs to be Bolero locked, and there's a bunch of things in the Bolero in the Fire Temple.
Very true.
Yeah. So we are seeing the Phantom Ganon boss fight here from SeYsEy, and meanwhile Majarkin is taking some more time to look through child checks.
I don't hate it, but Kokiri Forest is dead.
Kokiri Forest is hinted foolish, but I'm thinking he just wants the hint.
Yeah, that's also fair.
Which is a hint that Azora's Domain child checks are dead, so don't need to worry about those. That's actually a good time save.
Yeah, especially having the scale and having Rudo's letter, you're more than likely not going to be dipping over to Jabu anytime soon until you have that boomerang. But you also get to save a good minute and a half from doing those checks. And that's a slingshot lock slingshots.
Cool.
Alright,
Thanks,
game. That's... Oh, and this is easily the most forgotten Storms check that I believe Majarkin's heading towards. I wonder if this is also a simultaneous bean grab, but actually there's no reason to grab beans. Never mind.
Phantom Ganon's dead, and Majarkin seems to be headed for that 10th skull that he wanted.
Beautiful.
Down the river he goes, and collects some more rupees on the way.
Also, I think we missed our bet.
Yeah. He is also checking Frox 1 on the way, which is, I think, a good idea. Or not.
Majarkin? That's okay.
Never mind that. Or he might be going back there with beans in hand. I have no idea.
Grabbing the chicken?
We've learned from SeYsEy's side that the boomerang chest is dead.
Is he gonna be taking a gamble? Grabbing this chicken is interesting. Are you gonna grab the Storms check and then head into Zora's Domain?
Hold up. Sorry to interrupt you there, but that was actually a pretty big hint. Dead hand in the well is dead. It's dead and a key. So you're not getting dead hands checks anytime soon. There are no ZL lock checks in the well that you couldn't have peeked, and those that you could peek were nothing, so you don't need ZL for the well at all.
And now we know our slingshot is ZL locked.
Yep.
And so far that slingshot locks another slingshot. Depending on where that third slingshot is, I mean, you do with that information as you will. But one of our paths could just be leading towards ZL.
Oh, wow. So Majarkin does actually seem to be going towards Jabu and is looking to be taking that gamble there that you talked about. He doesn't know, as SeYsEy does, that the boomerang chest is dead and is looking for an item there.
Yeah, with it, everything that Majarkin is heading towards right now is dead. We have Zora's Fountain dead. We have Zora's Domain dead, and it's just a little unfortunate. Maybe freeing up the bottle is the best thing out of this.
That's true. He will be able to do big pose. which is another Epona lock check, which could potentially still factor into the SFM path if the game is mean to us. Meanwhile, SeYsEy is done with Forest Temple, has gotten the hints. Yep, it was definitely trail to Queen Goma. Has gotten the hints behind the Deku tree, and then is now headed towards the Gerudo area.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. It's the next best thing. You could do HBA. You can actually get the chest on top of Gerudo's fortress, and you could do a decent amount in inside of GTG. So this is definitely the most dense location. Except for the bomb lock chest.
Well, true.
Was that a bomb bag? Was that a bomb bag in Lake?
If it was a bomb, it must have been because Majarkin now has bombs. Heck yeah.
I totally missed that. I was too busy looking at Epona.
Well.
Take your strengths to get a scale from DC to get bombs in Lake. Majarkin, you big brain. That was wow.
But that strength in CAC can't be path for that to Goma. No. But that is certainly a thing.
Yeah, SeYsEy is more likely heading towards the Goma lock check. Or the Goma path here, going to GTG and checking the strength 2 checks. But this is just huge for Majarkin, more than most likely being able to get the boomerang here in Hyrule Field along the way. Head back, go do Jabu.
The only way this wouldn't be his boomerang is if the boomerang ended up being in Tektite Grotto, in which case he would need another scale or iron boots. But let's just hope that doesn't come into play, and the boomerang is right here.
Super satisfying HBA 1500. Oh, there's the boomerang.
Aren't we the old psychics?
Oh man, you make that you're just gonna head back and go and beat Jabu now.
Beat the dungeon. You have a progression dungeon to beat. You beat the progression dungeon. He also now knows that boomerang chest is foolish, so he can or is dead rather, so he can route that rather efficiently.
That's some cool tricks from SeYsEy there. 20 rupee if you hookshot that sign in between Gerudo's fortress and HBA.
And kind of needed. Probably one of those things that might have been just left behind by playtesters. But
it's pretty cool though. With SeYsEy's information, the route he's taken is almost directly towards those the strength 2 blocks.
So I think SeYsEy did child fishing earlier. So as soon as he has a scale, he will get that bomb back too. He must have gotten that information.
These two runners are definitely putting on a show of, you know, you could take several different paths in a seed. No seed is, you know, linear, and essentially do things how we intend with OOTR. You can just pretty much take whatever path suits the way you play, and it just kind of works out.
Yep, and neither of them are objectively better or worse, as long as you're progressing through the game. The Jabu dungeon that Majarkin is about to enter is another one of those pretty long and linear ones, so he will gain a bit of time back to SeYsEy here. Or rather, we'll just do a mandatory dungeon that SeYsEy still needs to do and needs to find the item for.
So I'm a little curious. Oh, yikes. I'm a little curious. It could just possibly be keys here in GTG, or in the silver block room, just to get an item in the center maze in GTG.
For sure.
Because logic. So that's why I personally like to check the block maze in the beginning if you get a key. Because so far we have a dead chest, a small key.
And there's a key. And your prediction can now come to pass as soon as there's a key inside this room.
Yeah.
Center chest is definitely in play, and there's another key. So 2 chests in the maze are now locked by strength 2. Did you know that if that platform isn't immediately down when you get to it in Jabu, that is the game informing you that, hey, scrubs are on, and don't forget that scrub behind the lift dingus.
Yeah. And it also well, yeah, no, 100%. I learned that doing some scrub seeds recently, just a bunch of testing. Well, scrub sanity, sorry, not scrubs as in the settings.
I getcha. Alright, another small chest fire locked here, and let's see, or well, hammer locked I should say, as if anyone cares. Logically, the game expects you to have a hammer, because the way to get to that fire, to that ring of fire, is to hammer away those statues and find a switch of some kind beneath them, or behind them. But you can also just use invincibility frames and be done with it. Another small key, just enemies locked. Another small key up there on the right side of the maze.
This makes sense on SeYsEy's side. You know, not finding anything in GTG so far, going all the way around, getting the keys, being able to go right side just by doing the loop, because you have Song of Time. Oh boy, there's something in the middle of the maze.
Richly rewarded for it by another bow. Let's see what's in that center maze chest, though. We have 6 keys. There's gonna be another in the maze.
Yes, that's right, Star. Song of Time is confirmed path for bows. So you could have came here before doing Forest Temple. But Forest Temple being the progression, you're going to pick that 9 times out of 10.
The bow in center maze, by the way, would also be Song of Time locked because there's a key on the right side of the maze.
That would be unfortunate. And at that point, you're sitting there scratching your head like, okay, what else what's on 10 skulls in Kakariko? Because those strengths could possibly just not be hinting towards anything.
Mm-hmm. Well, Majarkin has 10 skulls, so he's gonna show us soon. But first, what's in the center of the maze, SeYsEy?
Oh no!
Explosives. All right. Well, he's gonna not be mad about that. It's another check that he can get right here.
It's convenient, that's for sure.
Bomb choose.
Oh no!
He's immediately equipping them and using them, so it's. I think that has to be a small key.
I mean, we still have toilet.
Yeah, toilet and this one would be the 2 missing small keys.
Oh, yeah. All right.
If I counted my keys right. And since SeYsEy made it to the center of the maze, that has to be it.
So, center of the maze is locked behind. I mean, there's nothing in there for us, but GTG just being dead all around is really sad for SeYsEy, but it also gives Majarkin time to catch up here. Because more than likely, Majarkin's going to dip into Forest Temple after Jabu. Kind of do what SeYsEy's already done. Meanwhile, SeYsEy is just looking for that bomb bag that Majarkin's found already. Actually, at this point, not really. Can take those bomb shoes, just go do Hyrule Field on his own, and skip the bomb bag for now.
Yep, it'll be a bit of a chore to manage those 10 bomb shoes, but he'll be getting a pretty far distance with those. So there are a few people in chat asking what are bomb shoes? How do these work? Bomb shoes are basically remote bombs or crawling bombs. You drop them on the ground and they crawl forward, and after a few seconds they explode. So they are not just as good as bombs because they are out of logic. They do not refill. There are 5 bomb shoe packs in the game, and you find one, you can use them. But when they're used up, you're not finding more bomb shoes in the game somewhere, just randomly dropping from grass, for example, unless the game has the seed has been rolled on a death branch and the option for bomb shoe bags has been turned on. In that case, you will find basically a bomb shoe bag instead of your first pack of bomb shoes, and then bomb shoes will just drop from tall grass. You can do a lot of bomb lock checks with 10 explosives. You can also safe scum them pretty efficiently. So
yeah,
finding temp shoes is really useful, even if you don't have a bomb bag.
Yeah, SeYsEy is going to showcase that really well here. Already safe scumming 1 bomb shoe inside of GTG, making that check, finding out it's a key, realizing, okay, GTG is just dead. So instantly resetting the game so you don't actually use that bomb shoe. These 10 will probably make our runners, it'll make SeYsEy go through most of the seed without needing that bomb bag. Yep. Unless something's on of course on bomb shoe bowling, which is the one hard requirement for the bomb bag.
Asterisk again, unless the bomb shoe bags are turned on. Then then a bomb shoe bag is required. But dev settings. Anyway, so SeYsEy, I'm pretty sure did child fishing, is now doing adult fishing. If he did child fishing, he has also spotted that bomb bag in Lake Hylia. I'm almost certain of it. So we'll see if he follows that up.
Yeah, at this point, it's just when does SeYsEy go to? Did he grab Boomerang yet?
He did not, and he warped away from Lake Hylia instead of doing Hyrule Field with those bomb shoes. So that was kind of unfortunate.
Oh well, SFM is still technically path. Even though it's been pretty cleared, it's still gonna check here and get the Lost Woods checks while he's at it.
Yep, Bomb Lock Lost Woods checks is another one of those that he saved before using that first bomb shoe, and he will use more bomb shoes in Lost Woods to see what those have to offer. But first of all, what's this big chest? He might just save again after this one.
Oof.
He will! Well, there's a hammer.
That's
Your
so
explosive
good.
woes are mostly over at this point. Hammers will be able to destroy most of the things that bombs are needed to destroy as well.
That's funny, game, because that is a potential path to Volvagia.
That is almost certainly the path to Volvagia.
We've got Bolero that gave us our hook shot for logical
Bruce on the
access.
Storms, but no, you're just getting hammer.
Yeah, this is funny.
That's a confirmed path hammer. But yeah, heads up play from SeYsEy here, just remembering that, yeah, SFM is path, and I now have explosives. Let's go. And iron boots for Majarkin. What's he gonna do with those, I wonder?
Oh, that one hurts my brain. Iron boots? Okay. And this is, I mean, SeYsEy could just beat Fire Temple now.
Yep, likely he's going to do that. It's another one of his required dungeons, and once he has that beat, he will be able to pick up Zelda's Lullaby. An item that unlocks a bunch of more checks, allows him to get items from fairy fountains, and in general just is pretty essential in OOT Randomizer.
This is also going to be a 10 skull check for Majarkin, and possibly the Bomb Grotto here, which will knock out the Kakariko. Okay, so no 10 skulls required, but this will knock out the rest of the Kakariko checks.
So it is likely... So Minuet or Strength and Kakariko were our path items. We didn't really see anything spectacular Strength 2 locked.
Do we have... Okay, so do we know where Saria's is?
No, we don't. There's two songs missing, and that's Requiem and Saria's. Saria's can be an Ice Cavern, or it can be on Song of Time. Sorry, Temple of Time check.
Because now I'm starting to think, what if the path was for Minuet to logically beat Forest, just to get Zelda's Lullaby, which might possibly lock our Kokiri Sword?
It can.
Because these strengths haven't really turned up with much other than Lens.
Well, we have two Goma paths. We have the Strength 2 in... Oh, and we are also getting another important check here from Majarkin, namely the Death Mountain Trail big chest that we had already seen but weren't able to pick up yet. Okay.
Alright.
That does kind of support your hypothesis that that the Kokiri Sword is locked behind Zelda's Lullaby.
This is also... We do know that our slingshot is Zelda's Lullaby locked, and our slingshot locked another slingshot. There could be another slingshot on Goma themselves.
Were.
It's just getting very spaghetti at this point.
At this point, I think you mostly just follow your paths. That goes for both runners. SeYsEy will mostly not worry about bombs at this point. He has enough bomb juice in combination with the hammer to just finish the game. If he goes if he does that somewhat economically. Meanwhile, Majarkin needs to remember that SFM path and pick up that hammer.
Yeah, this is more than likely a forest dip into a forest completion for Majarkin, and SeYsEy, this is going to be hopefully going to follow the Hyrule Field path after Fire is done.
Alright, Majarkin did not show us this check yet, so let's see. Majarkin is now headed into Fire Temple, quite clearly by the equipment he's picking up. And SeYsEy finding another small key in here. That allows us to climb a good chunk of Fire Temple.
So Majarkin walking out of the market here. Gonna check the rest of the Hyrule Field checks. I wonder if this also means they're gonna head over to GTG. Oh, that is a big chest.
It is indeed. For more bomb shoes.
Okay. All right.
Bomb locked, bomb shoes, by the way, or hammer locked.
All right. Yeah, this is Epona. This is a dip to GTG. Now the thing is it's not a bad dip to GTG because there is a bow in GTG, and that's gonna, which is Song of Time locked, which is gonna push Majarkin to go do Forest. Maybe push Majarkin to also go and check SFM to get the hammer. So I guess we'll see. But so far, Fire turning up empty. Oh, never mind.
That's kind of important. Those iron boots suddenly are coming in handy for Majarkin. The light arrows are required to beat Ganon at the end of the game.
Oh, that's nasty.
Yeah, so SeYsEy will need to find either 2 scales or will find those iron boots to get the light arrows from Tektite Grotto here.
That's very nasty because SeYsEy knows that Dead Hand is dead. So dipping back into the well is not high priority on their list. They know there's a big chest down there, but it could just be another thing of bomb tubes, as far as they know.
It's not too worrisome for SeYsEy at the moment.
So when you get to the very end of the game and you don't have light arrows, Ganon tells you where the light arrows are. And SeYsEy is going to see at the very end, if they don't get those light arrows beforehand, that there's only a couple of checks in field that could be the light arrows. And with the irons being where they are, they're going to be on a hunt for either 2 scales or iron boots. And that could take up some time, whereas Majarkin's already gotten that completed and is just on their way.
Yeah, and Majarkin has really been a bit of a completionist this seed. He has dipped Dodongo's Cavern and was rewarded by that scale. That is not a dungeon that I think is high on SeYsEy's priority list right now.
Yeah, this is where full clearing, as opposed to playing aggressively, they have their differences. They have their pros and cons on either way. And really, it just depends on the seed that you end up playing. Does it favor the way you play? Does it favor how you read the seed? You know, it's just every seed's different, and that's what makes this so fun.
Yep, every seed is a new puzzle to solve, which is why this game has as its claws in my brain for more than 3 years now. And that's a big Poe bottle for SeYsEy, who immediately wants to turn that in. It seems
not beating Volvagia.
I don't think he has a key for it.
No, he has the boss key.
Well, then he'll warp back, and he's hoping to find something useful from Big Poes, but I don't know why. Well, we can ask him later if Volvagia, or why he chose to let Volvagia wait for a little bit.
Maybe...
But it's a free path market check. No, market isn't path either. Huh.
No, maybe just freeing up the bottle to put a fairy in. Maybe not feeling very
that's
confident.
a good shout. He is right on the cusp
Oh,
at 6.
what?
Oh my! What?
Well, all right, this makes sense, but it's like, what? Game? Hello?
Well, okay. There's a long shot.
What are you doing?
That is indeed locked by the Big Poe bottle. Well, no, that bottle wasn't the only one that was available. Rudo's letter was available. Sphere 0. And as well, a scale was locked by a single strength.
So our path is literally just for hammer in And there are no Bolero shenanigans. That's coincidence.
Yep.
It's a really big coincidence that we, for the first hour took us along the ride. By the way, happy first hour. Happy 1 hour, everybody. Thank you so much.
1 hour.
Yeah. A little bit closer to the second hour than we had planned. But thank you so much to the runners, Majarkin and SeYsEy, for allowing us to restream here on SGL or Speedgaming Live. Thank you so much to the trackers who are pulling in the heavy lifting. We have Chuckles and Shannock today. Thank you so much. And thank you, Tobias, for joining here in the comments booth.
And likewise, thank you to Okishi for keeping me very good company here in the commentary booth. Let's see. So, SeYsEy will now have the information about Tektite Grotto. Or,
Yeah.
I mean, he does speak Tektite Grotto, but he does not have the means to act on that information.
Yeah, missing both scales and the iron boots. Now he's on a different hunt.
Whoops.
But being able to get Boomerang here is going to catch up a little bit of time for SeYsEy. Probably go straight to Jabu right after getting the letter. Or I'm sorry, the Boomerang.
Majarkin, meanwhile, is crossing the wasteland. Without assistance from the Poe, as runners are wont to do. And I think that's his first look at Colossus there, is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
He's gonna turn that butt right back around and head back across the wasteland once he finds Song of Time there.
I actually completely forgot that he never checked Child Spawn and never got Song of Time. So he had no idea, what was leading him into Forest. If he were to go into Forest, he actually has no access.
Yeah, Child Spawn being in Colossus is certainly threw a bit of a wrench in Majarkin's play here. That's Song of Time for him, and as expected, he's headed right back out.
I get it. I completely understand. The path being... He's going to be right, but it is faster to just go into Forest, but we have the luxury of that knowledge as to where Majarkin is playing based off density here. And it just makes the most sense to head over to GTG, go right side, just go get your bow and then warp over to Forest.
Indeed. Okay, and as expected, SeYsEy did free up that bottle to make way for a ferry, and is now headed to Volvagia's chamber to beat up what was canonically in the OOT manga, Link's pet.
Is that right? This is Link's pet?
Volvagia used to be a pet dragon that Link kept as a child.
Okay, that's cool. That's, was it the same size?
No.
Okay, okay.
It was rather a lot smaller. More like think of the dragon companion that Mulan had in the cartoon.
Mushu.
Indeed.
Okay, all right. That makes a lot more sense. I'm sitting here thinking you get a whole... I think if anything is bigger than you are, it is no longer a pet. That animal owns you.
No argument here.
Oh, we get to see bomb chew strats on SeYsEy's side. Look how quick this fight is.
With Hammer, this fight is not just dumb free. With Hammer, this fight can only be done with Hammer in hand. With bomb chews, indeed, it is really quick if you get the cadence right.
Seamlessly pulling that off, showing why they're one of the top runners here in Ocarina of Time. And what do we get on Volvagia?
A small key. You can continue to climb Fire Temple if you wanna.
See, it's a little interesting because you have trail path to Queen Goma, right?
Ooh.
And you found a Goron tunic, and you found Din's Fire. You can't do anything with that Din's Fire until you get magic. So do you go back into Fire? No, SeYsEy is probably going to go do Jabu now.
Either that, or he's just plain, first of all, getting Zelda's Lullaby before doing anything else.
Oh yeah, that is a whole Zelda's Lullaby.
Also, 10 skulls looming in SeYsEy's head, and he's picking up skull number 10 right here. So he's likely gonna head down the mountain before he does anything else. Not a bad shout. He knows Kakariko is a path location.
Ooh. Yikes. Listen, the Dynalphos there they're tough.
They're
Especially if you're
killers.
low on HP.
Yep.
And this is going to be the Goron tunic.
Ah! SeYsEy got very excited to fight that just after having beat Volvagia and having got a whole detour to free up a bottle so he could get a fairy, which he didn't end up needing, for this fight.
It's unfortunate. Did Majarkin do Reed Grotto? That's a great question. I want to say they did, but I mean, they were right there. So Majarkin gonna get rewarded with a bow that we know is on right side Song of Time locked. And can we just take a second to admire the dog sitting in the chair behind Majarkin in their cam right now? That is so adorable, with the legs hanging out of the arm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Indeed. Majarkin's dogs are cute as heck. And he rightly just puts the focus of his face cam on his two doggos.
Oh yeah, we have here in the OOTR community, we have a few runners that actually have pet cams. We have a hamster cam, we have some cat cams, dog cams, husky cams. It's adorable.
One member of the community has a big heckin' snake that she sometimes brings out.
Oh really? Who's
Yes,
that?
Indeed. That'll be Kill the Sheikah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't think I've seen a snake before, but I've been in their streams.
Alright, Majarkin is continuing his trek through GTG. Will not find anything of consequence here, so let's have a look at SeYsEy at the moment. He's back child and is headed upriver to enter Jabu. He is, at this point, I think, significantly ahead. He has Forest and Fire both beat. He has Zelda's Lullaby in hand, whereas Majarkin, yes, has Jabu beat, but Forest Temple is just a guaranteed 15-minute time investment. Fire Temple will likewise take Majarkin a significant chunk of time.
Yeah, without having magic to use for his win, it's kind of the downfall. It's the downside effect of being inside of GTG and not having, GTG regardless is just kind of a long drag to access. So when you're in GTG and you could complete it and you're not in go mode, you tend to want to finish it before you leave so that you don't have to come back.
Yep. Caveat though, SeYsEy does not have those iron boots and is also not anywhere near getting that scale from Dodongo's Cavern or getting wherever that other scale is. So that could still cost him a lot of time later on.
Yeah, that's definitely working in Majarkin's favor right now.
Yeah, but let's say SeYsEy actually definitely has a chunk of time that Majarkin is going to have to spend catching up in terms of dungeons to find those items.
Yeah, because after SeYsEy's done with Jabu, where do you go? Do you go to DC? I mean, you have enough bomb juice, you have strength. DC is pretty easy to clear out completely. You're gonna get that Zora scale.
I think your hints are mostly exhausted at that point. So... Well, there is Din's Fire that is still looming, so if you find a magic somewhere, you might just dip into Shadow Temple to see if maybe the first 2 checks of Shadow Temple are the answer. But until then, not really many good options, except like DC, which just has a density advantage. Speaking of density, that is certainly also when SeYsEy will remember that, hey, there was that one unchecked big chest in bottom of the well, and I should maybe have a look at that too.
I'm personally curious to see when they prioritize that. How high on the list do they prioritize the one big chest?
It's certainly out of the way, we'll see. Majarkin is not gonna be mad for that health, mad about that health refill.
No. And having 7 keys in hand, being able to just go straight to the middle chest in GTG, find some bomb shoes, and most likely an instant warp over to Forest.
In terms of density, by the way, IGC inside Ganon's castle is now also a possible location that has a bunch of checks available for SeYsEy. There are 8 checks available right now to him. 7, sorry, because he can't get to Shadow Trial 2. But another 8 would be available to him if he were to find Strength 3 somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, our runners are only looking for Kokiri's sword at this point. Well, SeYsEy is only looking for Kokiri's sword. Majarkin is looking for hammer and Kokiri's sword. We do know where hammer is, that being in SFM, fulfilling our SFM to, or our Sacred Forest Meadow to Balvagia path there. But as far as this Kokiri sword, we've only found a Zelda's Lullaby locked slingshot that is potentially on a path to Queen Goma, because it is ZL locked. I mean, we got Din's Fire to follow, and we've got a Goron tunic, and we have a Goron tunic with no wallet available at the moment. So maybe that Goron tunic is telling us Deep Fire. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see what the runners do.
Indeed. Okay, so we are looking at a bit of a rehash of dungeons that we've already seen at this point. Majarkin is in Forest Temple. We'll spend about 10 minutes, 15 minutes there. And SeYsEy will spend another 5-ish minutes crawling through Jabu. So
Definitely the more preferred dungeon to be in right now, Jabu, because it is pretty quick, and having Ganon's castle available after this.
That's huge.
Yeah, Strength 2 didn't give us anything.
Majarkin is going to be not amused in just a moment. And I think SeYsEy did do adult archery.
Deserves to not be amused with the mouse on the screen. You know, I didn't even notice the mouse cursor there until now. Yes, thank you, TechnoLink.
Very glad for that, I'm sure. Right, SeYsEy is now done with the majority of Jabu Jabu here. It's gonna grab the crate and is gonna head into Baronade's antechamber. Or almost jump down Captain.
All of our hearts just dropped there for a second. Now, as much as I have a dislike for Jabu Jabu as a dungeon, I've got to give respect to the Baronade fight being so execution heavy.
Yeah, the Baronade fight is one of my favorite boss fights in this game. It's very varied. It has some neat tricks that'll allow you to do it very quickly if you get them right. So yeah, I would agree with you here. SeYsEy picking up that item without even looking because it is 0 time loss anyway. Because he needs to wait for Princess Rudo to appear.
Which also kind of has a skill factor going into the blue warp. If you go in too early, Link actually turns around and slowly pans over to face Rudo, and it's kind of a time loss.
Likewise, if you are going in at even slightly the wrong angle, that'll be the slowest Link turn you will have ever experienced.
Oh, it's like an ESS, but even slower.
Indeed. SeYsEy, you're forgetting something. Oh no! He does have Zelda's Lullaby. But he should also have remembered that Zora's Fountain is foolish.
He just wanted the HP.
Well, as if he knew that that was a hard piece.
Now, this is... Actually, what is this? Okay, this is to get Sun Song. And potentially whatever's here in Composers. Which, hear me out, could be big brain. We do have Din's in trail that was found, but no magic to be found. And we could do this check with just skipping magic and Din's altogether using the flame storage.
Indeed. But we do know that nothing in here is really useful, except for the Sun Song. We'll see if that is the answer to our woes.
Oh, we did get a hint for this, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You know Sun Song is in here, and we don't need to worry about the flames here, actually. Because, indeed, And
okay.
SeYsEy remembered.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a very old hint, very easy to forget.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's the Sun Song hint itself, so... For the Sun Song grave, right there.
So let's see if Sun Song... Never mind, then.
So this is a 10 turn in for SeYsEy. Gonna get a recovery heart. Oh, okay. All right.
SeYsEy is getting those irons.
This is good. This is good for SeYsEy. Very nice.
So that means he will immediately be warping out to Hyrule Field. To grab those, to grab that grab those light arrows from Tektite Grotto. But where to next is the question. I think Dodongo's Cavern will be high on his list just for density reasons.
Yeah. Dodongo's Cavern, we have Ganon's. They could go into water if he really wanted to. He's got the whole water kit. Spirit's off the table. No need to go into Spirit at all.
IGC, then Dodongo's Cavern, I think. IGC just because it's right here, and Dodongo's Cavern, as you said, it's a bunch of checks. It's very dense, and we will see. We have not seen the second half of Dodongo's Cavern yet. Anything that's bomb locked, Majarkin was not able to do.
Yeah, that is true. I guess luckily for the runners, no magic means, shadow, just not accessible at the moment. No hovers, only means if you do find magic, you could find, you can only do 2 checks in shadow. And this is back over to the crater. Yes, that is true. Being able to pick up Trail Fairy, finishing your paths. Come over here, do Crater Fairy, go do Trail Fairy. Do a little bit of cleanup, but also finishing your paths. Ooh, we got a big chest here in the top of the crater.
Oh, interesting. And it's a fish. It is our emotional support fish, because we don't need that, and we're going to be keeping it around for the rest of the run.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Literally, a friend of mine has an emotional support fish emote. It's a little cheerleading fish. Look at it.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's adorable.
Right?
Oh, that's so cool. And that is Trail Fairy dead, so we're looking at Dins.
Dins as the path to path item that'll lead us to Queen Goma. That is certainly a thing.
Okay, yep, and this makes sense for SeYsEy. Go and do DC. It's your next fastest, most dense dungeon.
Yeah, back of the Dongo's Cavern, or he is saving here and likely checking something that he forgot or that he just thought about. Might just be headed to IGC, and if that's nothing, so IGC inside Ganon's castle, and if that's nothing, he's just gonna safe warp straight back here. That's one way to basically fake having Forora's Wind. Oh! And it seems like we have not indeed seen Kakariko Archery, because SeYsEy was headed in that direction, but never mind.
Okay, so we got the Redead.
Okay. Meanwhile, Majarkin is now done with Forest Temple, has successfully beat Phantom Ganon, and SeYsEy is basically a dungeon ahead at this point. He is a Fire Temple ahead of Majarkin. And Majarkin's but they have now synced up to check the shooting gallery in Kakariko, which indeed we did not see yet. Which is in a path location.
Okay. Alright, there's the save quit, or the quit back into DC.
Mm-hmm.
A bottle. Is this ice?
No. Majarkin is looking at Big Pose.
Okay, yeah. Ice wouldn't make sense because you don't even have Zeo. There's, I don't, totally didn't even think about that.
Oh,
I
Zelda's
saw.
Lullaby, no hover boots. No way into the
Yeah.
Dora's domain.
I got too excited there.
Alright. DC makes a lot of sense for SeYsEy here. It's a check dense location that you have done in a little under 5 minutes. And he's going to be rewarded with a scale, and who knows what else. There's 3 more checks. There's the end of bridge check. There is the check right ahead, right atop King Dodongo, and there is the chest, or rather the boss item from King Dodongo. Majarkin really does need to think about that Wolfos Grotto soon, though. It's not far away. It's literally just playing Minuet and walking back over there. But it is pretty well isolated.
Yeah, I mean, while you're at it, you could also get the Lost Woods. Just thinking about the density of it, you could get the Lost Woods checks. You have 2 bomb lock checks in there as well.
Majarkin is showing a bit of nerves here, having trouble shooting a big Poe.
There we go.
Your Lon wrench, but there we go. Oh, that was rude, that fire keys.
Oh.
Boosted Link right off that platform. And there's a long shot for a Majarkin.
Alright, we're gonna get the Zora scale for SeYsEy.
Hey, SeYsEy is opening up King Dodongo's eyes here and will be headed towards the boss fight. Majarkin, meanwhile, is headed back towards the Gerudo area.
Yeah, this is new checks here, too. You get 2 new checks on SeYsEy's side.
Yep, indeed.
Whereas I am a little curious with Majarkin, maybe HBA if they haven't already done it.
Waiting for time of day here and headed into Gerudo Fortress as soon as he has it. And we are indeed in a seed that could potentially be entirely magicless. Jabu Forest Fire and Deku Tree are all beatable without magic. So
Yeah,
that's another concern for us. There's also no
yeah.
hint for that.
No hint for magic, especially if they dins on our path to our potential last item.
Oh yeah, you're right. Dins is path to Goma. Oh, there's a gold scale. Both gold scales were in DC.
Okay.
That's a thing. Good shooting by Majarkin here. should not have any trouble getting 1500 points in horseback archery.
Very nice. 1580.
There we go. Oh, and there's a Zora tunic. Cool, cool.
Nice.
And 26. And now that DC is done for SeYsEy, it's time for him to head into Ganon's castle.
All right. This is Majarkin heading into the right area now. Going to get the hammer inside of SFM.
That'll allow him to beat Fire Temple. That'll allow him to get his Zelda's Lullaby. And then it is time to see what else he can do and where else he chooses to go, really.
Oh, okay. We got ourselves a big chest.
Right here. Is that magic? No, it's a wallet. That is locked behind Forest Temple and Fire Temple, so for sure it is not a wallet that you could use to buy a Goron tunic for that Goron tunic logic.
Grabbing some blue fire.
Yeah, lining up Ice Cavern later on.
Yeah. Yep, can't do Shadow 2, so only being able to check and peek into Shadow 1.
Mm-hmm.
Having bomb choose for Spirit Trial is also really nice.
Yeah, no need to mess with bow or hookshot extension here. So I guess technically, if you do a bow extension perfect on first try, it's slightly faster.
Yeah, and instead of wasting a chew that you don't have any bomb bags to refill on, but I mean, reaching towards the end of the seed here, SeYsEy's not really going to need many bombs for anything else. So
He's indeed going for the bow extension.
oh, very
Shot.
nice.
So bow extension, a trick that'll allow you to shoot through walls or through grates like this, rather through 1 pixel walls, because you basically push forward while putting away and re-engaging the bow, which puts your arrow tip slightly further ahead, so you don't need to worry about a bomb chew here.
Alright, so we've got one more check inside of Ganon's castle, and it looks like SeYsEy is going to choose to do ice after this. Lining it up, grabbing the 2 blue fires.
Yep, and then likely afterwards, if Ice Cavern is nothing, I can imagine him actually going back into fire and checking the rest of that. I think there are 2 items left in there.
Yeah, that makes some sense. Oh, nothing here, but gonna clear out the Stalfos for later.
Yeah, need to pass them anyway.
Very nice. Yeah, fire arrows are on 30. But without magic, and I mean, just hovers would allow you to get over into Shadow too, but or magic, because you could do it with fire arrows.
No, we know magic has to show up somewhere. It's
Yeah.
we have a confirmed Din's Fire as a path, so
Man,
it's
having
got to
that,
be somewhere. We just need to figure out what the right place to look for it is.
yeah, having the Composer's Grave hinted dead is kind of sad, because that is the one is one of the few fire checks that you can bypass magic and fire with. But then
Let's have a little look at our path items. Let's see if we can't deduce a little bit more, because there is some additional logic that we need to take into consideration. We are looking at a mix of stones and medallions that are required for beating the seed. And the randomizer will prefer the bridge condition, i.e. in this case the stones, for paths in terms of which item or which reward a given item is going to be path for, over the medallions. That means, for example, if we have a path to, or it means in this case, if we have a path to Phantom Ganon or to Fire Temple, any item that would be on the path to Phantom Ganon, or that could potentially be on the path to to Phantom Ganon or to Volvagia rather, cannot be on the path to any other dungeon. So, for example, the hammer can in no way be path for Jabu. Or won't be hinted as path for Jabu, rather. Does that make any sense? I'm no good at explaining this. It's late in the day, and this logic is really finicky.
Yeah, two items can't be directly hinted towards two separate paths, but they could be indirectly hinted along the path's line.
Yeah, and again, the path hints prefer. So any item that could be hinted on a path to a stone will be preferred over it being hinted to on being on a path to a medallion. And I'm being yelled at in chat that this is why the Goron tunic can't be path and trail, because
yeah, I wrote off Goron tunic a little bit ago.
It can't be, or again, I'm being yelled at, not you. Wait, what was that? Hold on. What? Really? That was SeYsEy's bum bag? You're kidding me. Bomb bag on Shoot the Sun. Cool. Thanks, game. So one bomb bag accessible for adult in Lake and one bomb bag accessible for child in Lake. If Goron Tunic basically was path, it would have been a path to Volvagia. It wouldn't have been to anything else.
Yeah.
So it can't be it can't be path in Death Mountain Trail towards Goma, because it would have been hinted as a path item to Volvagia first. So it has to be the Din's Fire that somehow leads us to the Kokiri sword for access to Goma. Did take me a long time to catch on to that, but hey, sometimes I read chat. Hints could be weird here. You don't say, Shannock. Oh, there's a Stone of Agony.
Hints are very weird here. And this is gonna be the big Poe from Majarkin. Little salt in the wound on the big pose he was attempting earlier.
Mm-hmm. But hey, free bottle. Asterisk. If he walks to big Poe guy again for no reason and hands that Poe in. So Majarkin seems to be continuing in Fire Temple, so we're getting a few new checks. He's climbing up and getting Compass Chest, highest score on Pierre Chest, and Hammer Chest, depending on where the keys are, obviously. Starting with Pierre's Chest. There are 2 keys and 2 items left in this dungeon.
Oh, the hint quirks for SGL is what makes it so enamoring and so fun to play, though. See, you guys are very experienced in these hint quirks, and that's why learning all this is very fun.
Mm-hmm. Alright, let's take a peek at this chest. Is anything useful? It's a small key. We don't need that. Pull up on small keys that we need. We need exactly 1 more, and that is to get to the other side of the dungeon.
Yeah, we do know there's one on Volvagia, so... There is, what, 1 more key?
2 more keys. Well, from Majarkin's perspective, there's 3 more keys and 2 more items.
Yeah, okay.
One of them being on Volvagia. No, I mean, at this point, it's 2 more keys and 2 more items from his perspective. We know it's 1 more key and 2 more items. The omniscient viewpoint of the commentator booth compared to you know, the runners. Okay, that's a junk item, so 1 more item left to find. It's either gonna be on highest Goron or it's gonna be on Hammer Chest.
Ideally, highest Goron.
Ideally, yeah, Majarkin would like to see some kind of item on highest Goron here, just so he can be done with this place.
Oh,
and it's a big chest. Oh, hold on.
Don't be Bo.
Don't be a bow, be something useful.
Please.
Fire is not in any way hover boots locked. That's also true. You can climb all the way to the top without needing to beat Volvagia, and there's enough small keys for that. Alright, let's see what that big chest has. Is it just gonna be bomb juice? You know what? I'm gonna say it's just bomb juice. I am happy that I'm wrong! That's magic for Majarkin, and that is a definite advantage to him now.
That's huge. Go beat Volvagia, start making your magic checks. Or your Dinspire checks. That's amazing.
Yeah, that is so huge. Majarkin not quite counting his keys right. He is going to continue to highest Goron check here, so to Hammer Chest here. But that is exactly the kind of advantage Majarkin needed to get back into this seed. Obviously, he doesn't know it from his perspective, but we do know he was at a significant time disadvantage earlier against SeYsEy. But it will take SeYsEy a good chunk of time, I think, to climb back up Fire Temple to get that magic.
He can't keep getting away with it. Absolutely. This is why we love Rando. Anything can happen.
And usually does. Yeah, so SeYsEy is, I think, headed into Ice Cavern next. Or he might just play Bolero.
Oh, okay. If this is the case, Majarkin, if he wants to keep this slight item advantage, he needs to... Oh, Nope. This
Okay, so
is
yeah,
an ice
SeYsEy
fight.
is headed into Ice Cavern. It makes sense. This is the shortest way to Ice Cavern as well, but I was doubting for a moment if SeYsEy were just gonna dip back into Fire Temple. In terms of density, it would make no sense. Fire Temple, as SeYsEy knows, has 2 items left, whereas Ice Cavern has 4 checks that are definitely items.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you're going
Plus a
strictly
song.
on density.
Right. So Majarkin is going to see Hammer Chest being another small key. No, a hard piece, actually. Anyway, he's done here.
This is why they're the runners.
Yep, and we miscounted. That's why he's checking Hammer Chest. So,
At this point, you just go Shadow, right?
sure, absolutely.
That's your density. I mean, you could get
No,
locked
it's not
out
your
pretty
density.
quickly.
You're following up on a path here.
Yeah,
you-
density for pathing, but you could also do Wasteland.
Yeah, sure, but it's much quicker to do the 2 checks in Shadow Temple here. Yeah. Majarkin is going to jump over to Volvagia here and probably make quick work of the dragon. Meanwhile, SeYsEy unfreezing King Zora, getting the 3rd slingshot, or the 13th, it feels like sometimes.
That's a ZL locked slingshot.
Yeah. We had a slingshot locked slingshot, we had a ZL locked slingshot, which is great.
In the first slingshot was ZL locked, so thanks game.
Is that a bomb bag? Yeah, that was a bomb bag at the bottom of the lake.
These bomb bags
Sure.
are cursed today.
That's kind of rude, actually. Sky says it's a Deku Nut.
Either way, not worth going down there for.
Something round, yeah. Alright, Volvagia fight for Majarkin is going to be was slightly slower than SeYsEy's because he chose to do it with bombs instead of bomb chews. But yeah, there we go. That's the dragon beat for Majarkin. So Majarkin will likely be headed into Shadow Temple next to follow up on that Din's Fire Path, and if that ain't it, he's going to be going back to the Wasteland to check that Din's Fire check.
You know what I would like to see? I would like to see hovers on Wasteland and Koku's Sword in Deep Shadow.
Can we not?
Oh, come on. Sometimes these SGL seeds can be too short.
They can. You don't rush Wasteland until you absolutely have no other choice, but Majarkin is headed straight to Temple of Time to get that Zelda's Lullaby, I assume. Yep. His changing age is going child. That looks like a biggie in Ice Cavern. Is that just gonna be the other magic? But yeah, happy 2 hours, everyone. Happy belated 2 hours, I should say. Shoutouts to our runners. Yep. Earlier than the last one. We're getting better. By 3 hours, this seed will hopefully be over, but if not, we'll maybe be on time. Shoutouts to our runners for allowing us to restream this race, and thank you to our trackers helping us keep abreast of what the hell was going on in this seed. That'll be Shannock and Chuckles, and thank you to my co-commentator Okishi as well.
Thank you, Tobias. Taking me and carrying me on your back. It's much appreciated.
Appreciate it. Appreciate your company, dude. All right. That's Zelda's Lullaby from Majarkin. He is probably not going to waste any time, though. He is going to follow, or hopefully going to follow that Din's Fire into Shadow Temple and other Firelock checks. And if he does, we might just have a race on our hands. Certainly taking the steps towards it. He's going adult.
Oh, that's interesting. You can just... Alright. That song will just follow you. Good to know.
Yep. It's a bit more complicated in earlier randomizer versions, I seem to recall, but after that ruined someone's qualifier, it got improved right quick.
Yeah, Shannock, it looks like you are 100% right here.
Yeah, it does look like Majarkin is checking crater and trail, also hinted path locations for completion's sake. The crater and trail fairies, as well as the other checks in those locations before heading into Shadow Temple here. Which makes sense. He has Zelda's Lullaby, and that's Requiem of Spirit. Which SeYsEy is going to probably just... Well, he's not going to play it. He's going to play Bolero. Now Majarkin's on the clock. That means Sarias is in the Temple of Time song check.
Okay, so Majarkin makes these two checks and then goes straight to Shadow, I believe.
We shall see. Depends on if he picks up on the logic quirks that Chet has just educated us about, or if he is thinking a bit more broadly about these, like we did before. Okay, Bigeron is indeed still dead.
There's the
your
emotional
support fish. Also comes in Pride versions.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's Jax. Nice.
Indeed. Alright. Playing Prelude. Oh yeah, IGC. Density! Again, that's what the runners are chasing right now. And SeYsEy has Plum run out of that. Hence why he's now in Fire Temple and climbing that in the hopes of finding his magic. Which he will. In about 3-4-ish minutes. At which point SeYsEy has a clear path forward, whereas Majarkin is going to be at a bit of a disadvantage, I think. Because he has much more of the game still left unchecked.
So without those hovers, yeah, dipping in the shadow isn't the most dense of plays, but it is your direct path following.
Yeah, sure. And you can already see that Majarkin is already thinking about Ice Cavern as well, picking up fire, a blue fire here. SeYsEy is now checking Pierre's chest, finding that's just a small key, and going to dip straight back down. Without a care in the world. Oh! That was
my
a dangerous
goodness.
jump! Jeez!
Oh, this is interesting.
He does not have hover boots.
You can still make it.
Yeah, but needs to call Din's fire again and then actually hit the like.
Yeah.
To the right, Majarkin. There you go. Ooh, that's gonna be tight.
Ooh,
Yikes.
wow.
Jeez, okay, nothing.
If that had
Not
paid
worth
off,
it,
though.
but definitely a great showing.
Oh.
That's it's a fire lock checks. He's absolutely thinking in the right way here.
Okay. All right. So what SeYsEy is actually doing, they're not skipping highest Goron. They're making the hammer chest or flare dancer check here first, which takes you to the top of a room that you could jump out of and get into the highest Goron's room where the magic is.
Indeed. For SeYsEy, it's a slight time loss doing it that way, but only if you basically know that highest score on your item. So I can totally see why he did it this way. Majarkin, just using the tools at his disposal, sees that this is an item he does not need, and doesn't even bother with the bow extension.
Just needs to do the climb up to Ganon's. Man, getting that magic SeYsEy is gonna go straight to Shadow Temple, and
He has nothing else left.
Yeah. Whereas Majarkin was setting up for ice, but I'd be curious to see if they go straight to Shadow as well.
Depends on if he's thinking a path Din's fire here. I think that's really what it comes down to.
This is also interesting. Having magic in Ganon's to set for his win is a bit of a time save.
Indeed.
Okay, and we got our magic for SeYsEy. The clock is ticking.
I think the clock from Majarkin is mostly out because SeYsEy is headed straight into Shadow Temple here.
Oh my goodness, they are on top of each other.
Oh boy, okay.
Oh, this is good.
We have a race. Both of them basically have the same information. Majarkin does not, in fact, have Ice Cavern cleared, but there was nothing of value there for SeYsEy. It was pure time loss. You can see that SeYsEy is slightly better execution, is making his way through Shadow Temple quicker here.
Yes, Alex. The next best play after this would be Water Temple for SeYsEy and Ice Cavern from Majarkin.
A hard piece. And one more check. That is behind Dead Hand. That basically has to be something useful, if our path to Inspire is to be believed. Or there's just hovers sitting in the wasteland, as you instigated, or as you suggested. Or sitting maybe in Water Temple.
Well, Majarkin getting the fight done first, and there's nothing.
There, it's a small key. Okay. That'll probably be to SeYsEy's advantage, because Majarkin will most likely be headed to Ice Cavern next for density reasons, whereas SeYsEy is headed straight to the Wasteland. Colossus Ferry is another thing that exists, and it's a path location.
True. That is true. I completely forgot about Colossus Ferry. It seems like we're going right past it.
Then SeYsEy is really following up on that fire path. And Majarkin is not the only one, or we are not the only ones who forgot about that hint about the royal family tomb.
All right,
Majarkin's playing
Wasteland.
Minuet. That looks like a nice play. Let's see about Wasteland here.
Nothing.
Colossus Ferry doesn't seem to be on SeYsEy's radar at the moment. But he takes the health refill, actually.
Oh, this is tense. Where is our next item? Where is our progression? Where is the K sword or hovers?
At this point, most likely Water Temple. And you know the seed's gone to heck when Water Temple is your density play.
Oh.
It has 4 items!
Oh no.
It is so diluted by keys. Hey,
Would you
Water
say
Temple,
it's
diluted?
I was gonna say, would you say it's watered down? Oh no.
We arrived at the same conclusion through different means. Oh boy.
Welcome to Randomizer. Alright. We got ice from Majarkin. SeYsEy, is this I actually don't know what this is for SeYsEy.
HPA? No, I don't think so.
I thought
He
they had already
had
done it.
done that.
Because remember they hookshotted the target to get money to go into GTG, and that was coming back from
Oh, toilet is a thing that exists, but I think toilet has to be a key.
Oh boy.
If I didn't miscount my keys completely, this check, I mean, we've seen this check. We've seen that the BMOS chest was a key, and I think toilet has to be the other missing key.
We get our 27th slingshot from Majarkin.
Yep. Yeah, this is Majarkin giving a bit of time to SeYsEy. On the other hand, SeYsEy spending that time in GTG is maybe not the best way to do so. We'll see. This is always easy to say from the point of view of the commentator who has both runner streams to hand, whereas obviously the two runners each only have half the information we have.
Yeah. Yeah, that's our luxury. And unfortunately, our luxury has led us to a conclusion of possible water temple. Yay.
Yay.
If you were excited for Forest early on, just
wait till you see Water Temple. Though, I recall at least one person in chat saying they wanted to see Water Temple done by quote-unquote a professional. So, let's see if the runners will give us that.
Ugh. Just barely missing that last silver rupee. And it was an item, but it was a dead item.
What's an item? Huh?
So yeah, they're gonna. It's possible that the other chest in the ceiling, they peeked at it and it was a key. So that could be our last key.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But this also is the most convenient way to get over to Water Temple for SeYsEy.
Yeah.
This is an Oops World Tour. We talked about Oops AD earlier in the seed, and unfortunately, this will make it a dip into all dungeons.
Except, well, technically we've been in Spirit Temple, but come on, walk straight back out. Hovers on Colossus Ferry would actually be hilarious. But hovers alone don't signify anything. We do need a Kokiri sword, and that can be locked by hovers, that can be locked by strength 3. A bunch of terrible options.
The only thing we have to go off of right now is Dins.
Right.
And
Kakariko Path to Goma with a strength 2 option has to be because we've checked every strength 2 check, it has to be locked by strength 3 though.
Could be hovers on strength 3. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it can definitely be a combination of the two, that's true.
Alright, so our first dip into our first few checks here in water. And it looks like we have a small key. And this room, man, these things here, they're so random sometimes, and I know they're most likely not, but they seem random to me. Because you could,
boss key.
Oh.
What was burning Cack again? Serenade.
I wonder if this is going to be just a straight up Morpha kill for SeYsEy, and then finish the rest of the dungeon from there.
We'll see. I think if you don't need to re-raise the water, and if you can avoid that, sure, why not? Saves you a bit of time.
Plus, you might get lucky. Maybe there's an item on there.
I think SeYsEy at this point is not going to be caring about actually getting the medallion. He will just kill Morpha to see if there's an item there. And if it's not, he will just pay a straight safe reset. Oh, and he gets the quick pull.
Very nice.
That is a randomizer exclusive trick. Something you can't do in the vanilla game because there's a cutscene playing when you enter this room. But in randomizer, that cutscene is removed and you can just pull Morpha straight over to the door. And Majarkin is going to show us Colossus Ferry, so let's see what that is. Two new checks.
Okay.
It's a heart piece, okay, not it,
And
and a small key for SeYsEy. And he is indeed stepping into the blue warp, interesting.
Alright, this is a reverse from Majarkin. Gonna check Wasteland chest. Do they follow in the same footsteps? Go do toilets? Possibly.
Good question. I mean, obviously the runners know better than us that toilet is an item because we had obviously miscounted and thought it was a key. So I think Majarkin will do that too. Though he had trouble getting across a sand pit earlier. Obviously shouldn't be a problem now that he has long shot. Yeah, toilet is a junk item. We saw that on SeYsEy's side. But it is an item, and that needs to be checked, especially when you're running low on checks in this seed. All right. So we've seen a boss key. We've seen a small key on cracked wall, and SeYsEy wants that because we don't need any more.
Is this going to be the pause buffer?
No, it's just a side hop.
Just wow, nice.
Set the 45-degree angle and then side hop. Small key for water temple. He is going to check Torch's chest, obviously, for another chance to find an actual item here.
So we've seen boss key, 2 keys.
Yep, no items so far.
It's almost like Christmas, being in Water Temple. What items are you going to get?
Keys. The answer is keys. There's a big chest, though.
Oh boy, is this it?
It's double magic.
Oh,
that's been chilling. That's been chilling there for a while.
There's a soggy magic bottle.
Yup. That was accessible for a good long while there. And that's why we didn't get a path to magic.
We've got the vanilla boss key chest. Now this is probably my favorite room in Water Temple.
And we have a safe scum that SeYsEy just executed here. The idea being, obviously, you need two keys to get to that vanilla boss key chest. So you want those 2 keys back. So what you do is scum that. Is he just eyeballing this jump?
Yeah.
No way! Come on,
just,
dude.
He's just like that.
I'm kind of offended at that. Wow.
All right, that's another key.
Different. Yep. SeYsEy is indeed showing us why he was the Season 6 runner-up. Yeah, no, nobody needs the Zora tunic. We have more than enough hearts to survive underwater without it. Oh, my favorite, water key logic. This comes into play when you have a lot of keys early on in Water Temple. There are certain checks that can't be items or that can't be keys, given how many keys you already find.
Oh, wow!
I honestly, I don't have it off the top of my head. I would need to read up on it. So I'm not gonna try to explain something I only half understand. But if you thought Spirit Key Logic was fun, Water Key Logic is also a different beast that comes into play comparatively rarely, but when it does, hoo boy.
So we do know that the river chest is dead. Like it's a dead item, not a key. So really, SeYsEy has 2 more checks here and 2 more items.
Hence why he also prioritizes...
we also have Central Pillar, sorry. I forget about that one way too often. 1 more key, 2 more items.
What's Majarkin doing? Majarkin is clearing up Lake Hylios. There's Semi-Toucan. So aptly named because of his yellow beak. This toucan needs to be killed before you try to climb that ladder, because you're not going to climb that ladder. He's going to yeet you straight off.
Yeah.
We did have a water river chest junk item hint earlier on as well, so the remaining item that we don't know about is on Darkling.
Yeah. And bomb shoes on lap dive.
Right, so the one remaining item in Water Temple that could be interesting is on Darkling. Meanwhile, Majarkin is gonna be kind of annoyed at what he gets from Shoot the Sun. It's a bomb bag.
I'm trying to think of what else that we have left.
Yeah, we have Treasure Chest game. That exists. Since two magics were both available, we're not gonna get any hints about it. Or there's not gonna be any magic path hints or anything like that. And Darklink is a junk item. So,
Wow.
Yeah. Time to go, child. I think we can get your guesses in chat to see if Treasure Chest game is. Oh, SeYsEy is going to keep. Oh, he's gonna check inside Ganon's Castle Shadow Trial 2 chest first.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Majarkin is now catching up a bit again. He is in Water Temple, and obviously has already checked Shadow Trial 2. So that'll give him a minute or two back.
So it's not going to be K-Sword on TCG. It's going to be an item that will unlock other checks, so Strength 3 or hovers.
Quite likely, yeah. Because there is a Din's Fire path still kind of unresolved, a path to Goma.
Yeah.
And there is also an unresolved Strength path to Goma. And that'll be Strength 3, and something in Deeper Shadow at this point. So we need Strength 3 and we need Hover Boots before we're done with this seed. Din's and the Strength are both path to Queen Goma from different locations.
Oh, this is...
SeYsEy does not have Hover Boot. Oh no! Jesus!
Wow.
Does not have Hover Boots, so he was not able to actually make the jump.
That's some knowledge tech right there.
Lens coming in clutch here. It's definitely a required item this seed. In a fashion. Yeah, and SeYsEy, now remembering Colossus Fairy, will also get junk from that, and it's just gonna get a bit confused here. Why do I always get the seeds that go an hour longer than everyone else's?
We might actually be seeing an hour 3. You were joking about it.
Yes, I was. Okay, so Majarkin has checked has checked Dragon Chest. Now it's time for Eye Switch Chest, and after that,
This is also SeYsEy reversing again.
which I'm not quite sure what the purpose is here.
Toilet's already been done by both runners.
Yeah, both did check that. I think SeYsEy did. Majarkin didn't.
Did he just skip and go right to...
I think he just ended up in Water Temple. Oh, he did. Okay. Thanks,
I was about
Benji.
to say. Is this a check on... Oh, no, that's
Rooftop
dead.
chest.
All right. Now is this going to be TCG? Now, we were joking about doing a 1 in 32 earlier in the seed. Purely jokes, because that lens was strength 2 locked at the time. You know, we didn't have the knowledge that we do now. But now it's looking like TCG. That 1 in 32 very much could have decided things ahead of time.
It definitely could, depending on what's on Treasure Chest game. But honestly, I'm kind of running out of ideas as to where else it could be. Good setup here by Majarkin for jump.
All right, here we go. We got the 1 in 32. Go ahead and drop your predictions in chat. You got
1 in
5
32
total.
opening. Yep, five chests in a row. Each one is left or right. So LLRR is my default guess.
I'm going all rights and a left following up.
There is nothing all right with this seed. I'm immediately out.
That's another right. We got right, left.
Right, left. And anybody still in here? That'll be Teddyuth is still in. So is Big Noober.
Right,
Right,
left.
left.
We've got
Yeah,
Kirby
own-
in.
Kirby, Teddyuth. And right, left, right. Teddyuth got it.
And Kirby.
It's a big chest. Hoo boy, and it is
Yeah.
Strength 3.
All right.
Yup. All right.
Thank you, game.
I think that's a big advantage for SeYsEy at this point. It's going to be difficult for Majarkin to catch that up.
It's pretty linear from this point on.
So Strength 3 allows us to move those big monoliths that you see in 2 locations outside Ganon's castle And inside Ganon's castle, locking a total of 9 checks.
It's huge. Both runners picked up the keys in Ganon's castle as well, so not going to have to worry about a key for that last check in the light trial if it gets to that.
Yeah, I fully expect Light Trial to have the hover boots, and the hover boots going to give us access to Kokiri's sword somewhere in Shadow Temple.
What a seed.
It's a bottleneck as heck. Yeah, no worries, Savi. We know the claim check is on 20 skulls.
Only Zavi would say prescription incoming.
I mean, talk about cruel and unusual. It is 1 a.m. in Germany. What are you even still doing up, Savi?
Zavi's got the DGen hours scheduled, but Germany edition. Which is just U.S. Eastern time hours.
There. All right, these monoliths is what we are talking about. It's time to yeet that rock.
All right, we got two big boys.
Chests. Let's see. Not even worrying about the dang enemies in this room. They're all invisible anyway. What you can't see can't hurt you, right? It's a wallet. It's 3 big chests.
Oh my!
It's another bomb bag. It's 4 big chests. It's another emotional support fish.
Oh,
and the hover boots. There we go.
Finally.
Yeah, no. SeYsEy is straight out of here.
Oh wow! What a scene.
Hoo boy.
Easily the most hype part of the seed. 2 hours 45 in.
Yeah. All right. So somewhere in Shadow Temple is going to be a Kokiri sword, and then it is just a really quick jaunt over to Deku Tree to de-spiderfy that basement, and then it is time to beat the big bad. But we are definitely, I think, going to see the 3-hour mark in this seed.
This time we'll be on time, I promise.
Benji saying, "Stop ruling out Darunia." No! That is an absolute possibility! Stop that!
That's disgusting, and I love it. I mean, if we find nothing in here, that's the possibility.
That is, I mean, that's basically what that boils down to. It'll give you Saria's song, and it'll be either the Skull Kid in Lustwoods or Darunia's dance at that point. But that'll be quick, either way. Skull Kid was hinted, that's true, so it's really just Darunia, if anything.
Oh man, SeYsEy having a heart and a half inside of Shadow is scary. Shadow's very punishing. You very, very quickly with all the enemies. Just chip damage here and there.
And happy that Skulltula dropped 3 hearts here. Yeah, about that, Trails. Yeah, that cutscene has been removed in the randomizer.
You can kind of get the cutscene if you play the wrong song.
You can.
He's not going to be very happy, though. Oh, and this is DC being finished by Majarkin.
Yeah, I think we can stick a fork in this one unless something really goes weirdly now.
We don't like doing that, but right now SeYsEy is on the path, and this big chest right here could just be Kokiri's sword. There it is.
And it is! That's SeYsEy out of here. He will be warping to Temple of Time. That is the seed solved. SeYsEy is in go mode.
What a seed. SeYsEy might actually get past or might be able to do it before the 3-hour mark. Or maybe at the 3-hour mark.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a bit difficult to make it to the 3-hour mark. Well,
I mean,
Deku
you
is
got Dins.
2, maybe 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I think the longest part is really just getting to Deku Tree at this point.
Yeah. Now, the thing is, this is a best of 3. With SeYsEy in the lead and looking to win this match, Majarkin still has a chance in Game 2 and Game 3, which are scheduled. We do have a match tomorrow, is that correct?
That is correct. It'll be tomorrow, an hour earlier than this match started, so it'll be 3:15 Eastern or 9:15 p.m. Central European summertime.
Perfect. And then if Majarkin wins that one, they do have a Game 3 scheduled. I believe it's Thursday, but it could also be moved over to the weekend, I believe I heard. But
yeah, that's
true. If
so
we get to that point.
It's tentatively scheduled for Thursday, but if they might agree to push it to the weekend just for scheduling reasons, because it is rather late in the day for SeYsEy as well. SeYsEy is French, so it's also 1:06 a.m. right now for SeYsEy.
But in his case, well worth it.
For sure.
Very nice. We get the Din's Fire, just skipping right past Deku. This is the best you could possibly go mode Deku Tree.
The best way to do Deku Tree is to not do Deku Tree at all. Din's Fire, get through there without ever actually solving any puzzles or picking up any items. Hey, Oak, did you know that 23 is number 1?
I did. I definitely did. And you know what? That's something that even without playing Ocarina of Time for a pretty decent span of time, up until picking Randomizer up, you still remember that.
Oh, yeah, sure.
It's the first thing that's just like, I remember being a kid and thinking 23 is number 1 and never forgot that.
It's kind of something that gets stuck in your brain. This is such a cool boss fight in that it is done after 5 seconds.
I mean, to be fair, child us didn't have this done in 5 seconds.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We sat there and 3, 4, 5 cycled.
And yeah, it's... Deku Nuts are OP, and I wish I had known that as a child. Okay, and I mean, me being a child dates me, but so does my Twitch username. So yeah, I was 7 when I first played OOT.
Oh, interesting. So when I was, to give you an idea, when I played OOT, Majora's Mask was already out. So I had to do chores to play either one, and the easier chore was to play Ocarina of Time, and the harder chore was to play Majora's Mask. So I always did the easier chore and played Ocarina of Time.
And got the video game.
It has had a grip ever since. Claws in your brain. It's just a good game.
For sure. Alright, this is SeYsEy. I think going to be disappointed because I don't think he did ever set Din's Fire in Ganon's castle. Never mind, he did. And there's gold gauntlets for Majarkin.
Yep, Majarkin on the path now. But SeYsEy's going to be finishing up here within the next 5 minutes. 5 to 6. Ooh, the very stylish double salt and pepper. With the Master Sword, too. No big Goron sword. Just makes it look easy. One hit could have very easily thrown SeYsEy back to the beginning of the dungeon. Yes, the Spice Girls.
Yep, salt and pepper.
Oh, we're getting a cat on the cam now.
The Majarkin cat cam, it's perfect. In the end, though, that's all it came down to. Majarkin has Ferocious Wind set here as well, and it is maybe, I don't know, a 2-minute difference?
Well, Majarkin hasn't gotten a Kokiri sword yet.
Oh, that's
So
a problem.
still has to go
right,
back.
You're right. Sorry. I got fooled momentarily by them being in the same location. But yeah, Majarkin is lacking a specific implement. About 10 minutes.
Very nice. SeYsEy's down with Ganondorf. And these, now it is important to note that we do have Majarkin in the chat, but these runners finished 15 minutes ago. They are on a 15-minute delay. So, though SeYsEy is defeating Ganon now on your screen, that happened roughly about 13 to 15 minutes ago.
And Majarkin taking a bit of time here, picking up extra items. Hoping to get that Kokiri sword. That's the first phase of Ganon down for SeYsEy. Picking up the Master Sword, and it's 5 more hits, 4 more hits, 3, 2, 1.
There we are.
There we are, and one last boop of the nose for SeYsEy to win this first of a best-of-3 set in the semifinals of SGLOTR Online 23. The winner of this race, by the way, will face either Gavaroni or What the Hell's Happened.
Which those
GGs.
matches are also happening simultaneously to determine the winner. So GG's SeYsEy. We do have an official time.
Indeed, it was 2 hours, 57 minutes, and 38 seconds. And an immediate forfeit by Majarkin.
Completely understandable.
Yeah, indeed, and we are joined by SeYsEy and likely Majarkin in a moment. Good evening and GG's.
GG.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Well, so how'd you like the seed?
Well, that was pretty crazy. Yeah, the beginning was pretty hard without any explosives. We got the first one in GTG pretty late on, and yeah, last location string 3. So yeah,
You did make those bomb chews go a long way, though.
Yeah. I found the hammer with my use of choose, so that was pretty convenient. But yeah, I was expecting a 2-hour seed and got a 3-hour one. So
Yeah, same here. That wasn't what I thought. How long the seed would go. It is 1:15 a.m. for me as well. But
yeah.
GG SeYsEy.
Hey, Majarkin. GG. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry that it's so late.
Yeah, yeah. You can't do anything about it. Don't worry.
A nice little bottleneck that Mido rolled for the two of you today. I think we were down to. I think actually Treasure Chest Game was the last check in Logic, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
I only had 2 when I found it, so I was a bit behind because of some choices.
Choices indeed. I think the choice I saw mainly was that you were more thorough in your first adult phase, right?
As much as I could be. I left pretty quickly afterwards, but the decision to go up check Gorham City because of the strength 2, I'm like, maybe it's just there wasn't that much strength 2 locked. It being, I didn't know where Hammer was, obviously, Child 1, and we knew Spirit was dead, so it's like, it ends up being Strength 3 locked, and I found that out pretty quick, but yeah. I think the biggest thing that hurt me was not safe warping as Child, or safe quitting as Child. I normally do that in Lon Lon, and I just warped away.
Yeah, I think because we had a very convenient warp song, right? Something like Minuet that helped you there.
No, in Colossus it was. Oh, you mean in the ranch maybe? Okay.
Yeah, normally I safe quit in the ranch in the back.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you had me like yeah. I see.
And normally I do it anyways, and it absent-minded going, whatever. And that ends up saving you quite a bit of time because I had to cross the desert later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a whole nother bottleneck, I think, for you, Majarkin, that kind of happened because you ended up not knowing about child spawn. That was certainly a thing. On the other hand, I think you had a significant time advantage in finding the boomerang.
Probably, because I heard that SeYsEy didn't get bombs for a while, so it's hard to use. I think it was a 10-pack in GTG, right?
Yeah, 10-pack.
So around the same time, SeYsEy had actually gotten Song of Time from save warping as Child and going to Spirit, getting the song in Colossus. So was able to go right away into Forest and find the bow. Whereas there was another Song of Time lock bow in GTG, which was Majarkin's first bow, a little bit down the line. But around the same time, Majarkin had found the bomb bag after doing DC, found the bomb bag in Lake Hylia, went up Hyrule Field, found the boomerang, and did Jabu.
Yeah, okay, I see.
Yeah, so a bit of divergence there, but it was really interesting to see how the different ways that you guys could play the seed and still kind of converge around the same point, getting magic in Deep Fire around the same time, and going to, you guys were like 5 seconds apart from dipping Shadow the first time. So that was that was really interesting.
Pretty
funny. Yeah, it would have been funny if String 3 was there. It was possible. I was looking for that.
or if Hovers was there, like in Shadow, and we just have to go through it.
Oh, yeah.
No, yeah.
grabbing our arms on our chairs, like staring at the screen, wondering what was gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would have been a pretty close race if I checked child spawn. If I actually peeked the bomb bag right away, like my first run through there, right? Because I would have just went straight to the bomb bag to get it earlier instead of routing the way I did. And then having to cross the desert cost me so much time, just that safe quit. So I think those are the biggest like time like waste that I had for sure.
Yeah,
Crossing
well,
the desert like 3 times hurts you. So
yeah.
No.
Well, you guys do have a match scheduled for Game 2 tomorrow, around the same time as today, but 1 hour earlier. You guys got any thoughts on the seed before we end here today?
I hope for
Hopefully it
both
will
of our
be shorter.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Just for both of our sakes, not this full clear everything.
Yeah. Nothing in CMG, please.
Serenade would have made this seed a lot better.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, with that said, GG's to both of you. I look forward to seeing the outcome of tomorrow's match, and if we're going to need a Game 3 either Thursday or over the weekend. You guys both killed it. Definitely deserve the spots you guys are in, and I think I could speak for everybody. You put on a hell of a show for all of us.
Thank you, and thank you for the restream too.
Well, with that, we're going to get up on out of here. Just one last shout out to the runners. Thank you so much, Majarkin and SeYsEy, for running for us today and letting us showcase exactly what OOTR is all about. Thank you to the trackers. We had Shannock and we had Chuckles today on tracking. And thank you, Tobias, for joining here in the comms booth. We're going to get up on out of here.
And